I always give homework and to my students because there's about 5 exercises you need to do daily just to recalibrate, just to cleanse, right? Just to get the gut moving and flowing and going, and to create the strength in the center that you need to survive daily. It's the metaphor of the powerhouse synonymous to the core of self is that's what I teach. And I'm not just teaching movement, I'm teaching health on all levels, and I'm trying to teach what he taught. I mean, Joe talked about this. You
Yeah.
have to scrub your skin, and he showed everybody how to scrub their skin in the shower. And he used to wear skivvies, and he'd go out in the snow, and he'd do the hundreds in the snow. And he was talking about all these health benefits way before, right?
Yeah.
And circulation, and now we know that exercise creates white blood cells that fight cancer. Well, he was talking about that.
During World War I,
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
the day.
And so the knowledge of having herbs and teas and oils and hydrogen peroxide and baking soda are some of the cheapest forms of health techniques where you can clean with one and rinse with the other and realkalize your blood with a fourth of a teaspoon of baking soda. All of that knowledge is lost. All of these health benefits are now resurfacing. Hence why everybody's doing Pilates and yoga. And one of the most popular things for vacation right now, which is such a huge growing industry, is going to Tennessee in a place where you can pick your own vegetables and touch horses and get a massage. It's all
Yeah.
about health.
Yeah.
It's all about finding your peace because we have been driven and driven into this. You have to keep up with the Joneses. You have to drive this car. You have to carry this bag. You have to have this status and this and that. And it's driving us all crazy.
We got disconnected from nature.
We're like disconnected from God. Yes,
God,
nature.
yes, the divine, our roots,
Yeah.
Mother Earth.
Yes. Yes. And appreciating these Mother Earth and the Ferrari that we're in and learning how to work with it so that we can function and find love and find peace.
First within ourselves.
Yes. It
That
takes
when we can spread it out around us
yes.
to the other
Yes, it
people
takes so much work.
takes in the
I mean, but
work.
we're not put together. We're not put together. It's like stained glass. You have all these different colors that we're fragmented when we're put together by God. And the point of the journey, and I live in a schoolhouse. So I renovated an old schoolhouse, and I always use the analogy of school. We have to learn our life's lessons. And so, yeah, we're not put together perfectly, and we are fragmented, or we've been through experiences, we've been hurt, we've been through trauma. So but the point is that the color of that we turn that light of who we are into really bright, vibrant love. And the only way through it is by doing the processing and learning what it means to be human and learning how to be compassionate for yourself and for others. And um it it is it does take work.
You have to do the work. It
You have
doesn't
to do
come to you. You have to be proactive about it.
Yeah,
You
and
have to.
Joseph Campbell used to say joyful participation in the sorrows of the world, because yes, there is so much pain.
Yeah.
There is so much unfairness. There is so much inequality. There is so much friction that people want to run away from it. And so you have to find your purpose and find your place of space where you can calm down and get connected to who you are.
Why do you
And
think why
yes,
do you think that we are so afraid of stillness and silence and rest, and we are so resistant to rest?
I think there's a high in being busy, and workaholics and being on the hamster wheel of success that you have to do this, this, and this, and this, and this constantly. We're being driven. So part of it's not our fault because the media is bombarding us with things we need to buy, how we need to look, how do we receive love, all kinds of definitions of what masculine, feminine, femininity is, lots of confusing messages. And, it's a bit of a hamster wheel, especially at a young age. I don't know how I was able to stop and read a book, and I think luckily it's because this did not exist. So
Sure.
we run now, I run my businesses from this. We communicate through it. It's a tool that can be used positively or negatively, like a beautiful knife, a chef's knife. So you can use it to harm or you can use it to create art. And so,
So
and I also think there's a lot of fear in slowing down and looking at self because you have to be accountable. You have to be responsible for what you chose to do and how you hurt that person. This means I have to look at self, and that's not a very comfortable place to be. And so that's a part of maturity where you're willing to look at yourself and take responsibility for who you are, regardless of how
so
disappointed,
good.
right? Or how much expectation. Or and you also have to stop being a victim. And so being that means coming out of that and into accountability. I chose this life. I chose my parents. I chose to feel this way. I was put together by God incongruently so I could go through life and learn that that was the whole point. My marriage, now I look at that person as my teacher. I taught what love is not. I mean, I learned what it is not
So you can accept what it is
and not be a victim.
and
And
receive
as
it.
soon as you step out of that role of being a victim and out of disappointment and and you're willing to go through something even though you don't know what the outcome is, and being willing to accept your pain, that you're in pain about the marriage failing and you don't know what you're going to do and how you're going to survive, but you're still willing to ask for help. And by God's grace and your grit, you somehow come out of it on the other side, being
Mhm.
reborn, redeemed, and put back together. It's got stitching in it, like the stained glass with all the different colors and the glass is broken, but it still lets in a lot of light. Yeah, I'm broken, but it lets in a lot of light. Broken windows let in a lot of light,
That's what
and
Rumi says.
I
That's
love
what
Ruby.
Rumi says, right?
Yeah,
Let your
he
heart break
does,
so that
and
it can
Ruby,
light can
yeah,
come through.
yeah, I love him. Yeah, yeah, and the way he puts words together and yeah.
He was an ascended master. He got to that spiritual evolution level.
Yes.
That's the whole
Yes.
point. We all can get there.
Yeah, I have a Rumi deck of cards,
You do?
and then I can pull one, and it's so poignant, and you feel the breeze of your spirit come through, and it's like, "Ah, you're right. Why didn't I see that?" Yeah.
I wanted to also talk about acceptance. We talked about it last time when we previously spoke, that it actually kind of is related to what we just talked about, accepting and taking responsibility, even for the soul contracts that you have chosen before you even come here into this world. You chose your parents, you chose the paths and
Even
the
if you don't believe it even if you don't believe it, you still have to take responsibility for the parents mirroring back to you your limited self-belief system. They are your teachers. You bless them. Stop hating them. Stop
Because
being a
it does
victim.
exactly, it disempower you if you do play the victim. It empowers you even if you haven't chosen well, these are just ways of thinking and different mindset, but whatever that is empowering to you, that's what is actually aligned with the soul. That's what I believe. And taking responsibility even for choosing who you chose as your parent can
Yes.
give you some sort of a power
Yes.
over your current situation and current circumstance so you can eventually accept, right? Without feeling like a victim all the time that
Yes,
why this happened to me.
what you just said, self-acceptance. Me being in Paris, self-acceptance of having mercy and compassion for what I had to go through to be here now and not judging others because I didn't I hadn't walked in their shoes yet. To really understand somebody, you have to be able to put your feet in their shoes and see which is symbolic of soul. But it's self-acceptance is key. And being able to deal with the disappointment of life, of what you thought or what you expected was supposed to happen and it didn't. And how are you going to pivot? And how are you going to take responsibility for those emotions and feelings that are affecting you to the point of self-destruction? Moving moving into self-acceptance.
Right. How do you
Yeah,
suggest dealing with all this negative emotions that just fire at you in your head, everywhere you are when you're alone? So, all this negative emotions that you don't know what to do with, and you
and
just learn that you
overwhelming
have.
feelings of fear of how am I going to survive? What am I going to do? Of course, for me, the answer is always exercise. Exercise, dance, the arts. The arts are the healing arts. Painting, drawing, singing, dancing, music. The healing arts are is one avenue and exercise is the other. Because if you can take your emotions and write them out, they don't control you. You can dance or you can move. It's going to release the chemicals that you need in your brain to feel better about yourself. And so that was my epiphany was that when I was took my first dance class, I finally felt good about who I was. I felt joy again. I felt whole. I felt alive. Working with different rhythms and learning how to do a 5 count. 5 is the color of orange, of courage, it's red and yellow together. Never forgot trying to put that 5 rhythm with this specific dance into my physicality, going over and over and over and over until I finally got it. And so the system of awareness that I've created called motion of emotion takes rhythm and color and sound and movement. And it's something, oh, I identify as being, you know, I don't have any courage. Okay, so I need more orange in my life. So let me make an orange sound. Let me do a 5 rhythm movement and let me make so you've taken this over here and you've put it over here and into a positive aspect. You go about your day, right? And it doesn't take hours of therapy. You're cutting out the middleman. You are your own body lama, right? You are your own guru. There are no more gurus anymore. So I say body lama as a pun, but it's so true. And that's where we are right now is taking different systems, combining them together. If you've been through trauma, if you've been through disappointment, if you're trying to recover from alcohol or drug abuse and trying to change a pattern and creating neuroplasticity, we know we can rewire the brain. We know that we can create a neuromuscular firing pattern that affects our brain and we can release the amino acids we know that we need to feel better. I mean, this is an amazing Ferrari we're driving, and then we just have to be able to tune into it. And so that's the system of identifying negative behavior patterns, feelings, and emotions, and bringing them so they don't control you into destruction, but they bring you over here into self acceptance. So blue is fear, right?
Yeah.
Fear, frozen, you're in your sympathetic nervous system constantly through stress. Well, what's the sound of blue? What's the movement of blue? And blue is 1, 2, 1, 2. And the sound is oh, oh, oh. So you make the sound of oh because it stimulates the vagus nerve. You try and get the sound down into your heart chakra and your, right? Your throat chakra. You're trying to resonate this sound, and your parasympathetic nervous system is calming into rest and digest. And you've done the movement of 1, 2. You can walk it and you can say it. You can put blue clothes on. That's the system. It's that simple. And that's what I learned studying with yoginis, Pilates, movement, dance. So I've taken everything that I've experienced myself to put it into a system that other women, if I could help one woman through narcissistic abuse, that if it helped her get out of pain and trauma and she's stuck like I was, and it's very abusive. Um, to identify that, to journal her experience, because I've journaled my entire experience into an ebook, um, and a system that could help that one person, then my life's worth it.